Welcome back, everyone. So we have really cool wands to show off. I know that this isn't the video that I talked about adding all these cool characteristics to your character, but I think the information needs to get out there, and especially since I put so much work into it, I think that it's more than all right that put that off for just a smidge longer. So what we have is an infinite perk wand and how to survive the end of everything with a perfect cube. So let's get into the perk wand real quick, and for that we need a holy mountain. So like always, that's not the right wand. That's definitely not the right wand. This one. There we go. Still not the right wand. And 3 times the charm. We have our perk room. So this was brought to my attention by Priskip and Suffer, so thank you very much. And what we can do is spawn leggy mimics and kill the leggy mimics to spawn the leggy perk, and then re-roll it with the re-roll machine, which is a brilliant idea. So with Priskip's build, it was a little bit not efficient. So I took it upon myself to find a better way of doing it. This one's a little bit like unsafe, but can be used in New Game Plus, which is a plus. But yeah, so this is the build right here. How it reads is invisible spell on the long distance cast so that this doesn't create those purple particles. And then it's going to cast a double cast, which is going to cast vacuum field, and likewise invisible spell on this one to cast touch of smoke. So it's going to suck everything up and then cast touch of smoke. And then we have invisible spell on this as well. You don't need this many invisible spells, but it definitely helps with lag. And this one is casting a separate spell block, which is the this right here, a Nola. So the next spells like in the block have a 1 frame time, and then it has piercing on this unstable metamorphosis field, and so it's going to change these eggs into any creature in the game. And then since this is being spawned on it, it's going to die instantly and remove a lot of that extra liquid and all sorts of stuff. So let's give it a fire real quick. Steven, you know, goodbye. So let's just fire this for just a few seconds. We'll try and spread it out just a smidgen, see if we can get anything neat. Alright, let's see. Oh, there we go. We already got a leggy. Our temple's a little collapsed. But that's mainly probably due to the fact that the horror monster spawned. So let's clean this up a little bit. With our delete wand. Delete, 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 delete. And you can also farm extra health ups. Whether or not that's going to be worth it for you is a whole different question. But since we have this right here, the only problem is you don't know if there's another perk on it. So let's roll this, and right now it says, yeah, see, it says extra health. So if we pick this up, there was actually 2 perks here. So we actually only got extra health, and since we don't have, actually, no, yeah, we don't have dice on this, this player file, so that's why it went away. But it's a really, really, really neat build, and this is it again for anyone that's curious. Obviously, the wand stats are by a bit, I mean completely fudged, just to make it so that I didn't have to deal with fixing the wand as well. But since I left quite a bit of space for you, you could just throw a bunch of eyes on it, and then you have infinite perks. All right, and like always, we're going to get into our finale wand, which is going to be pretty neat. So let's do that. All right, so we are in our testing world. So the only difference is that I've created a bunch of stuff here, and let's hop down to our world and explore a little bit, and then cast the end of everything. Okay, so we got our little fabulous world right here, and let's go over here. So I feel like the heart of our world is like right here. So we're going to be casting the end of everything, and normally the end of everything has a bunch of problems that you would have to solve to figure out how to survive it. So the main ones are polymorphine and explosions and some more polymorphine. So there was a really neat build that was brought to my attention by Hey It's Zia. Well, Bard showed it to me, but it was using Circle of Buoyancy. So you don't need anything except for Circle of Buoyancy and Explosion immunity. And then you would just dodge the flask that are producing polymorphine, which is pretty good. Like, it is a very simple build, and it does wonders. But I thought about, hey, I know that Shadow Nia had been using projectile transmutation field. So I was like, okay, what can we do with that as well? So I tried to combine the two good aspects of them and use this to protect us a little bit more, and then have like Circle of Buoyancy with transmutation on it, so that any liquid that fell on us would be transformed into something most likely safe. Obviously you'd fire this off real quick and then see what the liquid was or what the powder was. But the problem with this right here is that when you have something on the field itself, it no longer works the way it's supposed to. So this right here only reads chaotic transmutation. This does not have its normal properties, and same with buoyancy. So buoyancy, you can still move your character around, but it no longer affects projectiles, which is kind of really bad. So I veered away from that build, and then I thought, ooh, we could just rapid fire spells to power. Unfortunately, spells to power only works on your spells. So we had to scratch that idea, and then I went with Giga Saw Blades. I know, very safe. But we ran into an issue where we could not have the same spells out, except for platforms. Platforms are one of the exceptions, and this is the build that I had come up with. So it's pretty straightforward. We have all this to remove the recharge time from this, because even though this wand is practically perfect, the amount of recharge time that this adds is kind of ridiculous. So what we have going on right here is a heavy spread into a reduced lifetime long distance cast. So what this reads is the heavy spread's just going to fire it in whatever direction. It's going to do like a demon hunter from Diablo. The reduced lifetime is going to make this cast really short and fast. So long distance cast is one of those weird utility spells that the longer it takes to cast this, the longer that this lasts, the longer it takes to cast. So if we swap this for an increased lifetime, this wouldn't rapid fire, and we need it to rapid fire to encase us in our perfect cube. So we're going to have it cast an invisible spell that is going to cast both the modifier itself on these two summon platforms, and then we have a divide by 3 on this increased lifetime. So you don't need this. This isn't necessary at all. This is just so I don't have to keep rapid firing it, and if I wanted to take a second, or if my mouse died or something, that this wouldn't go away in like a really quick fashion. And then we have teleporting cast with a blood magic on spells to acid. So the blood magic can be anywhere on this wand, since there's no way it's wrapping. But this is going to cast almost instantaneously, because this is a really short cast. And it's really, really cool. I'm also doing this on a 25 cast, mainly because I like the look of the wand and I wanted to work with that. But that's the only reason that wand refresh is really needed, other than the fact that it fixes recharge time by 0.42 as well, and this adds almost like 2 seconds of recharge time. So, without further ado, let's get Merlin's perfect cube, and yeah, let's survive the end of everything. Alright. And now we have a great treasure chest that we can open whenever we want. So, this is a really neat build, and as you can see, our world is a little bit disheveled due to everything, but it's really strong. So, let me go over it one more time. What's going on is the summon platforms don't really have the same interaction with spells, like spells to whatever, because they're a solid material once they spawn in. So once this is spawned in, it's a solid material, and you can use the WAND to break a little like hole for yourself. However, there's so many things overlapping that it doesn't really work to its best ability. And I like to cast the circle of acid, or sorry, the circle of water to, if I could throw this on the right wand to get out of this cloud. There we go. Christ. Save me from myself. I'm going to stand up here. And so I cast the circle of water to make sure that any acid and whatnot is kind of absorbed by the water, and so that any explosion as well, and like anything that was spawned from the flasks that can spawn from this, they're just nicely lowered with the water. So you don't have to use the water. You can just use the perfect cube and be perfectly safe from everything. If you're just firing this, it's going to change everything into acid, and obviously acid can't get in here because not even water can get in here. So yeah, it's a really strong build, and I hope to see it more used, so that someone can possibly get the 34th orb from the great chest, because it has a very small chance of spawning from a great chest, and this is the most reliable way to get a great chest. So yeah, well, hopefully you learned something, hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully you appreciated my perfect cube from 7 Deadly Sins. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video, and hopefully I don't get sidetracked again, and we can actually make the video showing off how you get like tentacles and everything like that. But for now, have a wonderful evening, noon, and night, and like always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Goodbye!